Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as was the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. Yesterday, we saw that Bitcoin was peaking over $50,000. And today, we are seeing it just under $50,000 after it did correct down past 49K. Most of the market started to react in a little bit of a panic, but for the most part, we were expecting us to bounce back anyways. I think that the lowest that we went, I'm not going to open TradingView, but it was right under like 48.5K, which was very good. We were expecting 47K to be hit, but as long as we are holding the line, we should be good. The big thing that I'm looking at is this actually surpassing $52,000, which would be huge for the entire market. XRP still has been ranging around 52 some cents. We are still waiting on XRP to regain some momentum above 56 cents. That's the big thing that I'm looking at. I do think that all focus should be on the weekly candle close this week, as that's going to really kind of solidify where most altcoins are standing and also where the market stands as well. Now, for the most part, 24-hour span, a lot of altcoins are starting to move heavy. On the 7-day span, we could also see that as well. I do think that leading into like the middle of this year, most altcoins should be at very, very significant levels. And I also do think that the market itself is also going to wake up in a very, very big way. We've been talking about institutional adoption and focus. It is there. It's pretty much at all-time highs at this point. Now, recently, there was an individual named Sean McBride, 16, over on X, that put out a post saying big news coming from Ripple and XRP in the next couple days. Now, this got posted on February 6th. It is now February 14th. And if we actually look at this individual's background, we could see that this is an individual that comes from a substantial background, including even Ripple, where he worked there about 2 years. He was the global talent acquisition. But we also have some other backgrounds behind him, including Amazon, Google, etc. So, what did he know? Well, it seems as though the focus right now is on what Ripple is really looking into doing, specifically revolving around institutions. Now, PolySign was a company that we were focused on for a bit of time there because it seems as though this was a piece of the puzzle, right? And we had to try to figure out what this is in terms of what's going to be happening with Ripple. We already knew that institutions were on their way, considering the fact that PolySign and a lot of the companies tied to Ripple in the last couple years were all focused on institutions. And PolySign was building the future of digital assets. PolySign developed state-of-the-art, secure, scalable infrastructure for financial institutions to fully leverage their digital assets. The opportunity of a generation. Our mission at PolySign is to drive global use of digital assets by building best-in-class infrastructure that enables institutions to secure and transact in digital assets across the capital markets and also the payment sector. Now, outside of this, the main reason why everyone is focused on PolySign is because this was one that was tied back to David Schwartz and even Arthur Brito, which are two individuals from Ripple that also designed the XRP ledger. But what happened next? Well, we started to see major change, and we got this announcement back in December. PolySign, public auction notice of foreclosure sale. Now, everyone started to speculate on what was happening. Was this bearish for Ripple? What's really going on here? And, well, we got a big update yesterday. Brad Garlinghouse, with standard custody, will be able to improve existing product offerings for our customers, as well as explore new products and use cases, all in a fully compliant way. The key word there is compliant. To date, Ripple has secured nearly 40 US money transmitter licenses, MPI license from the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and also a VASP registration with Central Bank of Ireland and counting. And what's crazy about all of this is this all happened in just like the last 3 months alone. Think about how crazy that is. So the moves are being made here by Ripple to solidify their name in the global financial system. But we have the announcement from CoinDesk. Ripple is planning to acquire crypto custodian standard custody along with its New York charter, which this is a very interesting section of this, because it really kind of is hinting at what Ripple's plans are. But also, it seems as though Ripple is now focusing on the US, because why else would they be acquiring this? But this was wholly owned by PolySign. So it seems as though Ripple is acquiring some of the PolySign business. And I think that this is a big deal. The company is trying to push beyond its payments network business. Now, in terms of the actual article, we could see a full breakdown of this. Ripple's acquisition plan to grab a company with a New York Trust charter will expand the business it's allowed to conduct in the US, potentially letting it move beyond its well-known role as a payments network, which, by the way, is a big deal, especially in the US. The deal, Ripple's second recent purchase of a custody business, must still be approved by the New York regulator. Ripple struck a deal to acquire Standard Custody and Trust Co., the company said Tuesday, in order to secure a New York Trust charter in an ongoing expansion of its U.S. regulatory licensing. Despite Ripple's overseas focus and its high-profile legal clash with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which has so far mostly gone against the regulator, the global payments company is still trying to stretch its capabilities in the U.S. The limited-purpose trust charter held in New York by the company Ripple is buying will let it offer more in-house services, including to financial firms seeking to tokenize assets. Remember what I just talked about with Ripple. You go over to their job postings on their website, guess what they're hiring for? Institutional DeFi initiatives built out on the XRP ledger. You can see where their focus is. Tokenization is here. It's a massive revolution, and over the course of the next few years, it is going to reshape every single aspect of finance. And when we look at that, right, you need something positioned at the core of that. You need an infrastructure layer. You need custody services. You need liquidity services. All of it goes hand in hand. The company is trying to push beyond the payments network it's known for and into other financial products in which their institutional customers can benefit from blockchain technology. And here we actually have a quote from Monica Long. We want to offer more and more of these infrastructure pieces to these financial institutions because, again, they want to be that infrastructure piece. We see this as giving us a lot of flexibility. They are an all-in-one package. They are all under one umbrella at this point for Ripple, and I think that that is something to really focus on as well. And she even called it a long-term project, and she said Ripple is also still seeking to complete the rest of its U.S. money transmission licensing. The deal with Standard Custody and Trust for Ripple has declined to disclose terms and which is still awaiting approval from the New York Department of Financial Services. Adds a crypto custody and settlement business to Ripple stable that would let customers maintain custody with Ripple instead of having to go to an outside partner. Ripple is known in the U.S. for going toe-to-toe with the SEC and federal court over the regulators' accusations that XRP was a security. Though one judge has largely ruled on Ripple's side, the case will continue to be fought in higher courts, mainly around institutional offerings of XRP. I do think that that will eventually end. I think that it will probably end this year. Again, that is me being hopeful, but we don't know, right? Anything could happen. But the US is a major market, and we believe it's possible for the US to emerge as a leader in driving innovation. And of course, they could be, right? If they tap into something like Ripple, it will push them years ahead of the competition. Because again, I always say Ripple has been around for well over 10 years, right? They know what they're doing. They have been pioneering blockchain-based technology for a very long time. It would be in the US's best interest to actually look into these companies like Ripple that are US-based companies that have expressed interest in the fact that they will move outside of the US if it comes to that. But beyond this, we also got an update from Standard Custody. We are pleased to announce that we have entered an agreement to be acquired by Ripple. Looking forward to this next chapter, focusing on what we do best, building enterprise-grade solutions for our customers. Now, when you go over to Standard Custody's website, you can see your institutional-grade digital asset custody solution. Standard Custody offers secure custody solutions that stand up to the strictest regulations and unlock the value of digital assets for institutional investors. And remember, all of this is around compliance, regulations. They want to make sure that there is zero problems along the way. And we even see down here, regulation, security, and ecosystem, the highest standard for regulatory and compliance excellence. And we can also see on the right side there, the New York State Department of Financial Services. This is their charter by the NYDFS, permitting the company to offer custodial and escrow services for clients. In granting this charter, the New York Department of Financial Services conducted a comprehensive review of Standard Custody's business, including the company's front-to-back security and its operational flows, as well as its comprehensive compliance programs, policies, and procedures. So this is a big acquisition for Ripple, considering the fact that it puts them massive steps ahead of the competition, really kind of puts them in a very crucial spot that they need to be in order to actually target the US-based clientele. So I think that this is huge. I think that this is a massive step, and we could see everything, right? We could see all the pieces being put into place. And by the way, here we have a quote from Arthur Brito. We combine blockchain, institutional, and HSM expertise to create inspired solutions to address today's problems. By the way, Arthur Brito, nobody knows what this guy looks like. He has been under the radar for so damn long, but he is the founder of PolySign, he's the co-founder of Ripple Labs, and he's the co-creator of the XRP Ledger. So as we really look at this, it's kind of crazy that this is an individual that is completely anonymous, but it also shows you, like, listen, there's some major connections here. There's a lot of plans already in place. I feel as though a lot of these plans have been in the works for a very long time, and now everything's starting to fall into place. Again, that is me speculating a little bit, but I do think that every move being made by Ripple it's a calculated move. Also over here, we have Who Are We? Digital Assets luminaries with proven leadership in financial services. We could actually see a breakdown of Standard Custody. You already know where I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking Medico with Standard Chartered and all of the major banks, but we have PolySign as well, which again, it just breaks down both of these companies. If we scroll down though, we could see the board of directors. These individuals are very prominent names in the traditional financial world. I think everyone should be looking in the backing behind some of these companies and really seeing where they come from, because they are very, very substantial players. But again, I think that this is a huge move, and I'm just going to take you back over here to XRP drops. We have Standard Custody and Trust Company. We've built our business specifically to avoid any conflicts, so we are exclusively focused on providing custody and escrow services. Jack McDonald answers following questions. Why is custody important in crypto? What should institutions think about when selecting a custodian? How do you think about differentiation from other custodians? What is the future of custody in digital assets? And check this video out. It's about 2 minutes long.
I think for a lot of different reasons, and we can differentiate between retail and institutions. Institutions in many cases have to use a qualified custodian as part of the custody rule, and the SEC has recently proposed some changes around that. But using a qualified custodian, if you fall under the rubric of the Registered Investment Advisor Act of 1940, that you have to use a qualified custodian. I would ensure that there are the operational and client support teams that you would expect to see from an institutional sell-side provider. You want to ensure that the assets are insured, even though it may not be a requirement. It's certainly a best practice. And I also think, just like in life, we're judged by the company we keep. And so I would be looking at the other service providers, partners, vendors that given custodians work with, where given custodians, for example, get their market data research from folks like DAR, all who provide an excellent service and we think are reflective of the quality that we and other qualified custodians have. At Standard Custody, we've built our business specifically to avoid any conflicts. So we are exclusively focused on providing custody and escrow services. We don't provide any trading functions or staking or lending or borrowing or market making, et cetera. And so I think as you watch this industry unfold, you will see more pure play custodians like Standard Custody be selected by the issuers, and then we will work in concert with market surveillance partners to provide that very important surveillance sharing agreement that the regulators seem to require. But one way or another, tokenization is coming, and it's going to have a profound impact on global markets as we know them. And I think that custody will continue to be a cornerstone of that. There will be other services that complement it, and it will happen slowly over time. But it's undeniable in our view that custody around digital assets will play a key role going forward.
And again, all of these pieces are 100% mandatory in order for institutions to be tapped in through digital assets and even solutions around digital assets like tokenization, liquidity, payments, things like that. And remember, all of this, every single focus piece, when we look at standard custody, when we go back to even PolySign, all of the major things that are tied back to Ripple are institution focus. Even Medico, the institutional standard for digital asset services, launch large-scale digital asset capabilities with our mission-critical custody infrastructure. If we scroll down, we can see everything that they are offering. Main focus is on institutions and really kind of being the answer for them, the key solution. And even remember, right, this is the plumbing for the new financial system. When we really look at everything that is happening and everything that has evolved over the last couple of years, you can see how Ripple is becoming a plumber for the new financial system. They are building out that key foundation layer so that everything can move swiftly through. And that is more so focused on payments, more so focused on tokenized assets, everything. Even when we go back to the XRP ledger with the amendments, the AMM, the clawback, all of that, that's all crucial for these next steps to be taken. And I get it, right? We're always looking at just the price. That's fine. We can do that. There's so many other great assets in this space that you can invest in and tap into if you want short-term gains. But long-term, I'm really looking at the leaders that will emerge from this space as the new Amazons of the world, the Googles, you name it, Apple. So when we really look at what's going on here, I do think that Ripple's in a prime position now. And this also puts the XRP ledger into a prime position because I do believe that XRP and the XRP ledger will be a key piece of the puzzle as well. I don't think that there has been any information coming from Ripple that really kind of persuades us to think otherwise. I think that XRP, it's the secret sauce for Ripple. They've been pioneering it forever. And even when you go back to Arthur Brito, which is connected to all of these companies, guess what? He is one of the co-founders of Ripple Labs and also one of the co-creators of the XRP ledger. And if you think that this is not significant at all to mention, I really do think that you're thinking small. You have to really understand that all of these things are all crucial for this new blockchain revolution to really kind of happen. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, so notifications on, if you guys want more free content, you guys are more welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.